How you feeling?
I'm actually feeling better. I ended up going to the doctors today and they ended up giving me antibiotics.
Oh, good. You sound better.
Yeah, you know what? From this morning, I feel a lot better.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Are
Do
you
you
flying
want?
out tomorrow, Marion?
No, not till Sunday,
Oh, okay, that's good.
which gives me a couple days. Thank you, Federica. I also got a text from Michelle, um, and I know Nader had prior commitments, so I think we might just be waiting on Zarais.
How about the pastor?
And Pastor, yeah, Pastor Cecilia. Oh, and Pastor Cecilia may join late. Okay.
Okay. So
So
you,
do we want to get started?
yeah, we can get
Yeah.
started.
Okay.
That
All
way
right,
we won't
Chief.
hold anyone up.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, Malika.
Recording in
Lucia?
progress.
This meeting is being recorded.
Lucia, you left boxing early again?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you for coming and serving pizza at the autism awareness, excuse me.
Oh yeah.
That was very nice, so thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
Um, So I guess I'll start with the department website and where we are and what we're doing in furtherance of the website. So a slow process because we've been hampered this week. 4 out of the 5 girls that work upstairs here have COVID and have been out of work. So um, it's been difficult getting by, and everyone's working from home and trying to do what they can, and then coming up with Easter and the holiday week. So, but the bottom line is with the website, we're pushing forward. With that, we have to get 2 more quotes. And as soon as we have the 2 quotes for competitive bid, we'll be able to pick the website that we want, and hopefully the one that serves us the best, because that's going to give us the ability to number one, promote the organization, to have links to the city website, and especially with the building of our youth program, people will be able to go right on our police website and register for any of our youth programs right on the website. So it's going to streamline everything that people need to do with the Lowell Police Department. We'll have, if someone wanted to file a complaint, we'll have a link to file a complaint. If they wanted to leave information, that we can. There's a world of things that we can do, and it'll also have push notifications so that, let's say that unfortunately there was an accident or a fire in the city and roads were closed, we'll be able to put out push notifications to anyone that signs up for those notifications, and let them know to avoid certain streets or areas. It'll really enhance our ability to get information out to the public, put our own press releases out, up to date. We can, like Marianne, will be able to add anything, or right on time, or the people that are managing the website could do it as well. So we'll be able to control our own dissemination of information to the public. So it'll really be nice. Um, does anyone have any questions about? I think it'll be important to give, we'll be able to put all our own postings and pictures of all our youth programs with quick links to, which is really going to help. We're going to, hopefully May 1st, we'll be moving into the boxing gym, which will be a big step forward. So that's really nice. We met today, um, just going off track a little, but we met today with people who run the Golden Gloves and the Lowell Sun Charity. And in years past in the city, they would run a youth boxing tournament, usually sometime around the summer. And they want to reinvigorate that because it hasn't happened in a while. So we may be part of that, or we may just, if we have some people that want to box in it, just, put some fighters in at some point if we have people that the trainers feel are up to par. So some exciting things, and we have some connections with other PAL organizations. So once we get our own gym, and there's a world of things that we'll be able to do with that boxing program. So that's exciting. We're running the Ultimate Frisbee. I think our promoter came and took photos yesterday. So you may see some photos of the Ultimate Frisbee after school. We're moving to the Sullivan School next week. And then we're going to have a jamboree at the end of the year for all the student police academy and all the youth programs, and have a cookout. So that'll be a nice thing for all the kids in the school. And then next, the body camera. So body camera is moving right along. We are going to be utilizing a company called Axon, Axon is a major law enforcement supplier. They're actually the only recognized or approved supplier of the taser in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, approved by the Executive Office of Public Safety. And they're also one of the biggest body camera companies around, so that a lot of people utilize, because they'll interface with our other equipment like the tasers. So that's the company that was chosen after the process. We're going to start the body camera program with 30 for a pilot program, 10 on each shift. So 10 officers that will select. I think it's going to be 2 superior officers and 8 patrol officers on each shift. At the conclusion of the pilot program, and this is all going to be dependent on funding, we're going to be applying for a grant, Marianne will, in September. So as long as the city, and we're putting it into the budget, the city's going to have to approve the ability to fund the program in the budget. If we get the grant, that'll obviously supplement or supplant some of that potential cost. But excuse me, I don't have COVID though. So as long as we get the funding between the city and the grant, as soon as the pilot program is done, and that'll probably be anywhere between 6 and 9 months by the time we get it started. And then the goal would be to move right into a full implementation of body cameras at the end of the pilot program. And there's a lot of logistics for this to get this program underway. And we're probably going to have to create like a body camera unit within the police department with a superior, a patrol officer, and we're also probably going to have a civilian in that unit as well, because there's going to be a lot of public records requests for video footage of certain things, to maintain the program, make sure everything is up and running. And so, it'll be a big undertaking for us, but we already met with the interim city manager, the new city manager, and the CFO, and told them that we're going to probably need to run this program. So they're well aware of what we're going to need. And I think as long as the funding is there, everyone is going to be behind it. And we look forward to it. So it's really going to help us out. I was in a class today, a yearly in-service, which is a week long, and the class today, and they were talking about the body cameras and how, years ago, everyone was body cameras. And now that they know, and it's protecting, and it's showing that the police are doing what they're supposed to do in most of the cases, they don't want us to get the body cameras, which is why we want the body cameras, because it's going to show that the Lowell police are doing what they're supposed to do. And you know what? If someone isn't, then shame on them. But for the most part, officers do the right thing. It's going to show exactly what's happening and lend that transparency between the public and the police. And if there is anything that comes into question, I've seen it because I had dash cameras, and probably started around 1989. And people would come in to complain, and they would not remember or forget that there was a video footage, and then they'd walk out of the chief's office because he said, "Oh, by the way, I just want to show you the footage of what occurred on that traffic stop, and then they'd walk out. So it'll be a big help. I think it'll help the city liability-wise, and keep everyone on their toes to do the right thing all the time. So we look forward to it. Anyone have any questions? It's a great program because it comes with a software an evidence program, so the city won't actually have to be in charge of storing it. Everything comes, it's like a complete package for storage of the of the evidence, and there'll be automatic storage on some things that we'll be able to set up the system so that certain things will automatically be stored, like if someone made an arrest or a certain call. So, and then it'll give the ability to manually store and save certain events that may be a simple call that turns into something more than they expected, and the supervisor will be able to just go in and save that event. So it'll be a new experience for a lot of people, but I think it'll be smooth as we open it up, especially after having the pilot program running. So it'll be good.
I'm sorry, Chief. I actually do have a few questions pertaining to the body cameras. And then so just reflecting on the past meeting that we had in March, I believe we noted that the policy on the body cameras have to be in place by June in order to comply with the state. Is that still on track as well?
So what we did is we helped jumpstart that process, and we sent a copy of the Mass State Police policy, which is a policy that was already negotiated between the state police and their unions, to the city attorney, so they could send it to the both police unions. So that's been done, and I don't know what the day. I think they've scheduled a preliminary meeting, and they've asked them, what do you think about this policy? Is there anything that you would like, any changes, or what do you like, what don't you like? And then we'll have a meeting. So they're giving their attorneys some time to probably digest and come up with any do's and don'ts for them. And then there'll be a negotiation process. But so there's two things that happen in like a union negotiation. And so they'll negotiate to a point, but if they negotiate to an impasse, then they'll implement the policy and let them fight it. So and the reason for something like that would be, we don't want to lose the ability to get that money from the grant. So if we have to, we'll put a policy in place. That would be my intention. We would put a policy in place. They would have to follow, and they can fight it, or let's say negotiate it as we go along, rather than fight.
I think there's a preliminary meeting next week.
This sounds like a mean dog.
He's definitely all bark, no bite.
All right.
So you mentioned a grant that you were applying for in September. Is that the grant to start the pilot program, or for the rest of the body cameras?
That would be the rest.
Yeah, it's the Bureau of Justice Assistance Body Worn Camera grant, and it's actually due the end of May, but we won't know if we receive the award until the end of September. In the meantime, like the chief mentioned earlier, we are applying, submitting a proposal to the city under the capital plan project, and we'll need matching funds anyways for the BJA grant. So the funds that we're applying for under the city's capital plan will also be utilized for matching funds.
Okay. And then, so say if you don't get the grant, I mean, obviously, hopefully you do, would that just kind of put the rest of the program on a standstill?
No, because we're applying for the entire amount under the capital plan, but what that does, it puts us in a place to be able to fund the program longer than 3 years. If
Okay.
we're able to get federal funding, it will just prolong the program past the current 3-year contract
Okay.
with Axon.
And then I just had one more question about the body cameras itself. Will those body cameras, are the officers going to have the ability to turn them off, or will they stay on for the duration of the shift?
So they, excuse me. So they can shut them off. That's just how everyone runs it. So that they have to be able to shut it off, like if they're going to lunch or if they're going to use a restroom or certain thing. But there's going to be automatic trigger turn-ons. So if they're going to a call and they turn the lights on, we're having an automatic activation of the body camera so that they, if you're going to an emergency call, sometimes people may forget to turn it on. But as long as the blue lights are on in the cruiser, it'll automatically activate their camera and any camera within a certain distance around there. So if someone else came, and then there'll be another automatic activation. If someone draws their taser and turns their taser on, that will automatically activate any body camera of anyone that's on scene. So we're trying to take out the human error element of that, of the activation, excuse me, so that in those emergency situations or those potential use of force situations, the camera will always be on. So,
Wow.
we're paying a little more for that, but, we thought those were important functions.
For sure, that's really cool technology.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions at all?
I think Lucia had a question.
Yeah, not a question, but just an idea. So I don't know if you've already thought of it, but like the idea about like people asking for footage that's taken from a body camera. Would you guys think that would be a good idea to like maybe put that like where people can request that information like on the Lowell Police Department website? But I don't know if you've already thought of that already.
I didn't hear that,
So-
Marianne.
She's asking about if people request, body camera footage. So that would actually go through, we have thought of that in respect to like what we were looking for on the quote, like in the on the quote, we're adding an auto redaction feature that would allow something that may take 4 to 5 hours to redact, we'll bring that down to like 1 to 2 hours, to save the time. It can be a costly feature, but in the long run, it's definitely worth it. But anybody requesting camera footage would have to go through, I think, the public records request process, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chief. And it would go through that process and
Yes. It'd all be through a public records request. They file a public records request. It goes in the records division, or it'll go to the appropriate division, in this case, probably records, and then records to the body camera. And then as long as it's a something that they're eligible to obtain, then we'll make the copies. And everything is bound by law and bound by time. And I'm not sure 100% on the specifics, but we would have a certain time to either send that information to them or to object, and everything then is regulated through the Attorney General's office. So if there's any discrepancy or any contested footage that, like, let's say there's certain things that you couldn't send. I know with public records, whether if it has to do with sexual assault, if it has to do with certain domestic issues, and the regular public wouldn't be able to obtain that type of information. Those are certain restrictions, but that again, it's all regulated through the public records.
Yeah, and I think like you've probably seen across the country, there are police departments who have utilized body-worn camera footage, as teachable moments or things like that, or if it's a larger incident. That may be something that we may release. Correct, Chief? I think that's what she might have been getting at too.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if there are things that occur and we feel that it's of a public interest and the best interest of the city and the police department to get that information out, we'll put it out on our website and post it.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Chief, do you have anything else that you would like to add at all for the meeting?
No, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we have coming. Well, we have, we're going to be busy. People on vacation with the budgets coming up, the new city manager. So right now there's an interim. So we're looking forward to, moving forward, hopefully moving forward with our budget and, hopefully just continuing to move forward. And maybe after, hopefully the COVID issues that we're having here seem to be spreading within the department. So, it'd be nice to have some in-person meetings. So as soon as we can do that and everyone feels comfortable, we'll have a meeting. Maybe next month we can have an in-person meeting at in our EOC room. So, I can't think of anything big. Other than we're going to do a visit to the Moody School May 3rd, and we're bringing it. Our partners from Manchester, New Hampshire. We're bringing in a comfort pony. So that should be fun for the kids at the Moody School. So I've never heard of a comfort pony, but they have a pony, a little Shetland pony that we're going to be bringing in, and we'll bring our dog as well. So that should be kind of interesting.
And hopefully at our youth outreach event in September that last year was our first one. This will be our second annual. We're hoping to have the comfort pony at that event as well.
Yeah, we're going to look at bringing in some other, there's a lot of departments around now that have comfort dogs and different types of, public relations type of things. So we'll look to make it a little bigger event and have some different things. I know like Concord, New Hampshire has a Saint Bernard as a comfort dog. So between a Saint Bernard and a Shetland pony, maybe we'll have some. It'll be fun. And then that's about it. We'll be running our student police academy this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then our hopefully getting the swimming event off, which will be nice. So yeah, pretty much it for our side, unless you have any other questions, right?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I don't know, Frederica, if you wanted to move on to next steps of the upcoming meeting or.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I don't have any other questions at all pertaining to what the chief went over. So just talking about like the next steps in the upcoming meetings. This past month, both Lucia and I have been to a couple neighborhood meetings. I am going to speak on my experience, and then if Lucia would like to as well, it's up to her. So I attended a neighborhood meeting in Centerville last week, and I got the opportunity to talk to them about the Citizens Advisory Board. And I mean, like, I guess it not really shocking, but it was great to see like a lot of people didn't know about it, but they were very interested in it. And, a couple of the city representatives were there as well. So I'm hoping, there are going to be some of those people watching tonight and, continue to watch in the future. But yeah, they were a very welcoming group to have me present for.
Well, that's good. I went to the Highlands neighborhood meeting this past week, which was very well attended. So that could be a meeting that you might want to. I don't know if you've been to the Highlands neighborhood group meeting.
Not yet. No, I haven't.
Yeah, they have a really good attendance. So maybe that's a meeting you'd want to go to and let them know and talk about the Citizens Advisory Board.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, let me know and I can put you in touch with Captain Kilmartin and he can set it up for you to speak at the meeting.
Okay, perfect.
Oh yeah. I already spoke at that Highlands meeting, but like the other like committee members, of course, like Frederic and Michelle can go to talk, of course. But yeah, so I'll talk about the experience that I had at the meetings. I'm definitely noticed that there's a really strong relationship between like the people who attend the neighborhood meetings, and when the police officers come in to do their report, you can really see how the people who attend the neighborhood meetings, like they're giving all their concerns to the police officers, whether it's from like traffic lights or even like the smallest things that really matter to the people who come to the neighborhood meetings. They really just share whatever their concerns are with the police officers. So you can definitely tell there's a real comfort level between the community and the police officers. So it's very hard.
Awesome. And then so for the next meetings, obviously, we've noticed it's a pretty quiet time, with both the chief and the city manager, kind of like in flux and getting used to positions. So we were discussing that, Michelle, Marianne, and I, when we were preparing for this meeting. And obviously, so the city manager chooses the next superintendent. And since that is separate from the Lowell police, we found out that we don't really know what the process is like. So our goal for the next meeting is to find out what the selection process is like and potentially talk about that, either if the new city manager puts out a statement on his selection process, or perhaps we could invite him on to talk, but that is what our next meeting is going to be focusing on primarily. And then besides that, I'm not sure if anyone would like to add anything else to the meeting at all. All right. Yeah, this meeting, we knew it was going to be short and sweet again because a lot of things are in flux, but we will see everyone next month, the second Thursday in May at 5:30 p.m. Like Chief Gollner said, hopefully it will be in person, but if not, then it'll be over Zoom. And if no one else has anything to say, then this meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
You as well. Bye.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Record.